Shamati Karim Guru Tvai Vasmi Najilami Kayaminam Iti Vigyayari Tvam Nayanam Charanantikam Yatin Krishu Vasa Kalu Kakamani Nittapurasa Purusha Shakandamuri Tashikadara Siddhi Visalamujas Takiri Kunja Bhavanamanamadhyamishama Jami Radha Ravinda Netram Smarami Radha Madhura Smritasam Radhami Radha Karuna Burajam Tato Manashti Gati Nagapi Vakita Gahino Yaparada Lakshar Shirtasya Kamadi Tarangamaji Kripamai Tvam Saranam Prapana Vinde Namaste Charanarvindam Kanaka Jaladagatro Nila Sobhagya Netro Vidumaravaravalu Malati Kundamalu Tadana Taruna Vesho Nilam Pitambaresho Smarani Vritini Kunje Radhika Krishna Chandra Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitana Pavaniryo Vaishnavibhyo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please. So I wanted to speak today and try to stay with the continuum. I cannot even remember, I don't know if it's old age or whatever it might be. Did I speak Baladev Purnima here?
No.
I spoke Janmashtami, I know, but did I speak Baladev Purnima also?
No.
I spoke Baladev? Okay, I spoke on the, also so many Zooms and Zoom outs and Zoom ins. I can't keep up with this stuff. But anyway, on Baladev Purnima, I told that the appearance of Sri Baladev takes place on the Purnima because Sri Baladev Ji is the Vaibhav Prakash of Sri Krishna. And the Vaibhav Prakash of Krishna means he's not different from Krishna, only the mood is different. The essential ingredient in that mood of Sri Baladev Tattva is Seva Vastu, Seva Vritti. Seva Vastu means the substance of service. So he's the predominating deity of Sandhini Shakti. Seva Vritti means the attitude of serving. So therefore he is also the energy of service in all the five rasas. Understand? In one separate prakost, one prakash completely separate, he manifests as Ananga Manjari. I'm saying this because sometimes there is some philosophical debate in some circles to say that Baladev becomes Ananga Manjari. Because Abhiman Ved is a certain, Abhiman Ved means in the particular prakost you're in, you have that Abhiman. So Baladev cannot become Ananga Manjari, so to speak. But the Seva Vritti of the principle of Baladev Tattva is present in Madhuja Rasa as Ananga Manjari. Is clear? I also told that Baladev Tattva appears on the Puranim because it represents Bhakti. And Bhakti is the full manifestation of Bhagavan Shakti. In fact, his name is Balaram because Bala means Shakti, Ram means Ramayati Iti Rama, means that person who has the ability to manifest the moods and substance of service to Krishna imbued with Aladini Vritti. He's not the predominating deity of Ladini Vritti, but if there's no Ladini Vritti present there, how Krishna's enjoying it? You understand? So that Sandhini Shakti is imbued with Ladini. Therefore it is pleasurable to Krishna. You understand? So he is the full manifestation of what is Bhakti. However, the objective of Bhakti, Stai Babu Prasad Prota Sri Krishna Vishayi Nirati. Should be up on it?
Prabhu, I'm still not clear on the point of Ananga Manjari.
See, Ananga Manjari is the Seva Vritti of Baladev Tattva because he's the absolute principle of Savior Bhagavan. He's Seva Vritti in all five rasa. Understand? But there was a big debate that went on some time ago. And that's why I said it's a little nuance factor. If we say Baladev became a Nanga Manjari, some will claim this is like Rasavas. You understand? Because in Baladev, Abhiman, he's Baladev. So you can say he became a Nanga Manjari. You understand? Because Baladev is not compatible with Madhurya Rasa. Because he is called Surit Saka. Surit Saka means he is like a protector of Krishna. Sridham and others, they are Priya Sakas of Krishna. So also they will not participate in any intimate things with Krishna. Those who are like Ujjwal, Madhumanga, Subal, others, they're Priya Nama Sakas. It's mentioned in Ujjwal Limani. What is this? Anantara Hasya Gyan. Anantara Hasya Gyan means they're also acquainted with the intimate pastimes of Krishna. This is, in Ujjwal Limani is saying that Rupa Manja is speaking this about Subal. She's saying, oh, he's Anantara Hasya Gyan. He's full of all knowledge about Rasa of Krishna. What is he not qualified to do? She's glorifying Subal. So then in the commentary, Jiva Goswami Pad says, this is called Atishukti Alankar. It means it's like a hyperbole. Because obviously Subal cannot do everything Manjaris are doing. Then he gives an example. When the divine couple become very tired due to their Kamkrida. Kamkrida, you understand what this is? Kamkrida, yeah, means their intimate pastimes. Then Subal also fans them. Then he says, how does he fan them? Yeah, he's outside, and in India they have these fans that are connected to a rope. And you pull the rope, and the fan is moving. But he's outside the kunj. He cannot go inside the kunj like this. So, like this, it's explained that they have some special mood. Also, it's explained they have like Sakhi Bhav. Like Sakhi Bhav. This also became a big point of contention so many years ago. I'm not going into that because it's not our subject matter. But it means Madhurya Rasa Bhavita. It means they have a mood in Madhurya Rasa. They are Sakas of Krishna, so they don't have Madhurya Rasa. They have Sakya Rasa. But in the presence of Krishna, due to what's called Anumodita, the word Anu means to follow, Modita means happiness. They are so absorbed in Krishna's pleasure that their mood follows his happiness. Therefore, when they're in the presence of Krishna in the gopis, they develop Sakhi Bhav. It means, Jiva Goswami clarifies it, it means their male mood is suppressed. They don't manifest, because normally, if any group of men go in there and a group of young ladies, then okay, Krishna, you can have 10, can I have 1? You understand? But no mood like this arises because they're absorbed only in Krishna's happiness. Therefore, they don't manifest any Purush Bhav whatsoever. Other than that, it would be incompatible with Madhurya Rasa.
Can one say that Baladev expands as an Manjari?
That was the debate thing. Because in common parlance, you could say. But Baladev Tattva, because it's not compatible with Madhurya Rasa, saying he expands as a Nanga Manjari, that's what they've given the argument for. Basically, I tell you, all things, I think this is something that came from the Pariwars. Yeah. You understand? And they want to make wait a minute, no, this is and it became a nuanced issue. But you cannot deny Baladev Tattva is the embodiment of Seva Vritti. So he's present in all rasas. So in Madhurya Rasa, he manifests as the Varagopi. A Nanga Manjari is not the Manjari. A Nanga Manjari is a Varagopi. If you read Krishna Garudash Deepika. Understand? So he manifests as the younger sister of Radhika as a Varagopi. So, it's okay. There are different categories of gopis. Varagopi means very dear, very high class. Varishta gopis means the Asta Sakhi. And then of course other Sakhis are like Priya Sakhis. And in the Priya Sakhis there's both of those groups. In the most categories, the Paramaprista Sakhis, then they're also called Varishta Sakhis, then Vara Sakhi, and then you have Nitya Sakhis, who are the eternal Kaya view of Radhika's Manjaris, and then you also have Pran Sakhis, vice versa. Pran Sakhis are like those who are very dear to Radhika, the eternal associates. Nitya Sakhis are we can become. Means Manjaris who become perfect by sadhana.
In one place, Spiritdeva said that Nityananda is also a Nanga Manjari.
Yes.
So is it okay to say like that? Or?
Yeah, in our circles we could say completely. I'm just making aware of the nuance that people bring up. And if they bring up that nuance, this is why we describe first Nityananda Tattva is the Kripa Murti of Baladev Tattva in Gaur Lila. Understand? And therefore, because actually who's his Shakti? And who's Janavama? Annamanjari. You understand?
Yeah.
So just these are the nuances. So we're completely acquainted in case that would come up, then this is the answers to those things. In common parlance among ourselves, Baladev is Annamanjari also. So this Baladev Tattva, when it descends, it first enters, I described in Krishna Janmastami, because I want that thing should have relation to us and how we're practicing, and therefore make a correlation between that and the leelas, like Janmastami, Radhastami, Gaurapranim, you understand? Because if it just becomes the leela itself, what's our position in relation to all of that? And if we're doing bhajan sadhan, then how are we related to the whole thing? You understand? So it's very important sometimes to extract also the upakyan. I told during Janmastami Katha that Adi Shira Swami, the Bhavarta Deepika commentator, he made this, and then all acharyas followed suit, that he described the appearance of Krishna to Vasudeva and Devaki as Vedic Diksha. You understand? Remember I told this thing on Janmastami? So when Baladev Tattva appears, he appears in the womb of Rohini. Because Baladev Tattva is Nitya Braj Tattva. You understand? So, of course, Vasudeva sends Rohini to Braj. Rohini Ma is also Braj Tattva. You understand? She is like a bridge between Braj and Mathura. You understand? But she's the embassy, for lack of a better word, of Braj that goes to Mathura. You understand? But she's Brijavasi, through and through. You understand? So Baladev Tattva appears in her womb. In the womb of Devaki, also at that time, the descent of Baladev Tattva in the form of the Ansa of Baladev Tattva appeared in the womb of Devaki as Ananta. You understand? I mentioned on Janmastami, if you look in Jiva Goswami's definitions relating it to us, there are two terms. One is Anadibada. Anadibada means the Jivas. The Jivas are Anadibada. The word Anadi, he explains in Tattva Sandarbha, means something that has no beginning, but it has an end. What does the word Ananta mean?
It has a beginning and no end.
And no end. You understand? So to teach that in Diksha, at the time of Diksha, when Sambandha Gyan is given, then that Sambandha Gyan has a beginning of your spiritual life, but it has no end. You understand? Therefore, when that appears, it appears as Ananta. But the process of bhakti also appears then. When the bhakti process appears, it appears as first mati, right? Mati means the discrimination. Who am I? Kami, Kinema, Jaratapatrai, the questions that Sanatana Goswami Pada asked. Then that appears as Krishna Seva Vasan. The bhakti lata is Krishna Seva Vasan. The bij, Brahmanda Brahmati Kon, Bhagavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Poi, bhakti lata bij. So the bij is called mati. Sava Sangamena Rupa Ankor Rakti, no. Sava Sangamena Ratni Ankor Rupa Eva Mati. Mati means the time when in your consciousness the question arises, who am I? That's the symptom of the either previous bhakti samskars making their appearance again, or getting a first impression. You understand? That causes mati. Who am I? What is this life? There's more to this life than just eating, sleeping, mating, defending, etc. Understand? Then, when that becomes somewhat mature, it becomes Krishna Seva Vasan. That's the Bhakti Lata. Understand? So now, that Bhakti Lata, when it grows and it becomes mature, then from Vairi Mag, or better term, Raganuga Pravritti, the desire for Rag Marg takes place. When the desire for Rag Marg is manifest in the Jiva, then Yog Maya, assisting the Jiva, in this case, by the order of Krishna, comes to the dungeon of Kamsa, enters the womb of Devaki, and extracts that Angsa, which was called Ananta, and transfers that Angsa to Braj. What is that Angsa called when it's transferred to Braj?
Sankarshan?
Sankarshan. Sankarshan means Raganugamag. When everything is attracted towards Braj, this is Raganugamag. You understand? So the beginning process of Bhakti first is Ananta. This is the beginning of the process, but it has no end. So up to the point we develop attraction for Rag Marg and have a ruchi for Rag Marg, it remains in the capacity of Raganuga Pravritti. Why? Because you cannot worship Radha and Krishna via Vaidhi Bhakti. Right? What's the verse? Sakale Jagate More Vari Bhakti Braja Bhava Bhaiti Nai Sakti. You cannot worship Radha and Krishna by. So when there's some maturation, then it turns into Rag Mag. This is symbolized by Shankarshan, the attraction towards Braj. He merges with the Baladev Tattva that's in the womb of Rohini. So I described all of that on Janmashtami. Still, Krishna has appeared on an Astami, because Krishna is not complete until there's the appearance of Srimati Radhika. So 1 year and 7 months later, on this day, Srimati Radhika makes her appearance. Hari Bol, Dandavats, 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 Vaishnavas, and Vaishnavis. So on this day, 1 year, 7 months later, Srimati Radharani makes her appearance. The importance of this is that she's also appearing on the Astami. So I've told before, in the commentaries of the Acharyas, it mentions that Chandradev is the witness and a narrator of many of the pastimes of Sri Krishna in code. So Chandra is telling the story that Krishna has appeared on the Astami. When Krishna first appeared from the womb of Mother Yashoda, not appeared, in the womb of Mother Yashoda, that Baladev Tattva, were they sitting outside? Oh, I see. Okay, good. So, when Baladev is in the womb of Yashodama, Krishna is in the womb of Yashodama, Baladev Tattva at that time is almost inactive. Baladev is almost like deaf and dumb everything. Very little activity. The only time Baladev shows any symptoms of life is when he will go and he put his head on the womb of Mother Yashoda. Then he displays some symptoms. You understand? Because this Baladev Tattva, Bhakti is not active until it has relation to Krishna. You understand? When Krishna is manifest for seva. So Baladev is like inactive. This is written by the Acharyas. Then when Krishna makes his appearance, Baladev comes almost like to life. In the same way, Krishna only will perform his Baal Leela. You understand? For 1 year and something, Baal Leela, especially like killing demons, like Putana comes 6 days later, then Trinavarta will come, and then Sakata Sura will come. So immediately he establishes, first of all, you have to find bona fide guru. Therefore, false guru is dismissed. Secondly, all philosophies that are bogus and that don't lead to bhakti in the form of Trinavarta, also dismissed. Then the heavy burden of karma that comes as Sakata Sura, also dismissed. You understand? So all this is going on during his Baal Leela. You understand? Then, once Srimati Radhika makes her appearance, then it's described that Narada Muni, he came to the house of Yashodama and he took darshan of Krishna. And he became so blissful. And then he was going, he said, now if Krishna has appeared, his Shakti must have also appeared. So then he's searching and he came to Varsana. And then he went to the house of Vrishabhanu Maharaj. And he asked Vrishabhanu Maharaj, do you have any children? He said, yes, I have one son. He says, no, but you must also have any other children? Oh, just very recently, we had a baby girl. Understand? But we are very sad to say that she is blind. You understand? So Narada Muni said, let me see this baby. So Vrishabhanu Maharaj thought, this is very auspicious, because Narada Muni is very high class of sadhu. Anybody know what the name Narada means? I actually found it in a commentary on Ramayana.
No teeth.
Huh?
No teeth, according to some.
Some actual version. Narada Dati Iti Narada. Nara Varam Dadati Iti Nara. Nara Varam. Nara means mankind, Varam means the best. Dadati means to give. Who gives the best things to mankind, which is bhakti? Iti Narada. He's called Narada. This is from a commentary in Ramayana. Right? So Narada then said, let me see. So when he went into the Garbhagraha and he saw the form of Srimati Radhika, he saw that her eyes were closed, but her beauty was extraordinary. So Narada told to Vrishabhanu Maharaj, please give me some time alone. So Vrishabhanu Maharaj left the room and Narada immediately had ecstatic symptoms and he began to offer so much stav and stuti. So after some time, Vrishabhanu Maharaj says, what's happening? Because Narada Muni is getting more excited, his stav and stuti is getting louder, everything else. So then he enters the room again and he sees Narada paying obeisances, getting up, doing many things. So yeah, Sadhu, are you okay? Narji, are you okay? He said, oh, yes. Fine. So he says, I had some revelation that your daughter is blind. But I'm telling you, you should put on a huge festival. And Mr. Banu Maharaj thought, why? You will put on a festival? My daughter is blind, and many people will come. Suppose somebody comes, they criticize, oh, you're supposed to be such a pious family, everything, but you have a daughter that's blind. He said, no, you trust me. You put on one festival and invite everyone. Especially you should invite Nanda Bhaba and Yashoda. Not only because they're very good friends, but both are like kings. Because in the ancestry of Nanda Maharaj, the father, Parjanya Maharaj, he was given Raj Tilak by Sursena. Understand? Because technically they're Vaishya, but in the community, he's like a king. You understand? And so is Vrishabhanu Maharaj. So, he says that you should invite. So they invited Nanda Baba, all the other Brajavasis, everyone came. And when they came, at that time while all the adults were discussing, then Krishna crept into the room where Srimati Radhika was. And then pulling himself up on the bed where she was, he was looking and immediately Radhika's eyes opened. So it's described that actually Radhika, she cannot see anything anywhere except Krishna. You understand? Every vision that Radhika has is of Krishna or relation to Krishna. You understand? Therefore, I'm now describing some of Radhika Tattva. It is mentioned, Krishna Devi Mayi Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sava Lakshmi Mayi Sava Sava Kanti Samohini Para. So, Devi Krishna Mayi Prokta. So, Devi here means two things. It means Divyati. Divyati means Lila, but also means Jyotiman. Jyotiman means who is illuminated. Radhika is illuminated with the highest type of prema. Therefore, she permeates Krishna's existence and Krishna permeates her existence. Therefore, Krishna's Swarup is composed actually of Radhika. Just like every Swarup has three elements: the existence itself, the cognition of that existence, and the principle of bliss or happiness. So let's say in the Bada Jiva, those three principles are also present as Sat, Chit, and Ananda. But how do they function? We have existence, but under illusion we experience it as temporal. Secondly, we have cognition, but our cognition is only of that temporal existence. And therefore the Ananda Vritti that's in the Jiva is not really Ananda, it's Dukkha Pratiyogita Jiva, Goswami says. It's the absence of misery. You understand? And as long as the Jiva maintains contact with the material energy, they can't even experience Dukkha Pratiyogita or the absence of misery. Rather, they can continue to experience various types of misery within the material world created by that combination. I'm not telling you again because I've told before, yes? The combination of the Jiva, there's no misery in Maya. Maya is a Shakti of Bhagavan. You understand? There's no misery in Maya. Maya is actually Bhagavat Shakti. There's no misery in the Atma, the Jiva Shakti. You understand? The misery comes when there's a combination. Just like you take two chemicals which are benign in and of themselves, but you mix them together, Indipati is a scientist, boom. Right? I'm not speaking anything officially here for whoever watching. Not describing, we're not a cult, not making bombs or anything. Just to put it on the record. You understand? But if you take two benign chemicals, right, that in and of themselves have no problem, you put them together, it becomes incendiary or explosive. In the same way, the Jiva Shakti, there is no misery in the Jiva. There's no misery in Bhagavat Shakti. When you put them together and the exploitive tendency due to false egoism and the modes of nature are manifest in the Bhada Jiva, it causes the reaction that causes miseries to come about. Understand? So in Bhagavan, that same principle is there. Sat, Chit, and Ananda. It's mentioned in Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Paramakrishna, Sat, Chit, Ananda Vigraha. His Vigraha is also Sat, Chit, Ananda. But the operation of Bhagavan's Vigraha is his Sat is eternal and absolute. His cognition is Akila Rasa Amrita Murti. You understand? It's not just fully cognizant, but he's Akila Rasa Amrita Murti. He's fully cognizant of all kinds of taste. Because this is why Bhagavad Gita says he's Bhoktaram Jagyatapasam. He's the absolute Bhokta. You understand? He's the absolute enjoyer. So that's what his cognition is. Same in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Janmadhyasya yataha anvayat itarachas arteshu abhigya swara. Abhigya means he's fully cognizant. Swarat means he does not depend on anything for his cognizance except himself. What is he cognizant of? Janma adiras. You understand? He's fully cognizant of it. And its lila plays out as anvaya, direct, and itaratas, indirect, means meeting and separation of sambhog and virohe. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is given this description. You understand? So his Satchidananda operates on that principle. And his Ladini Vritti, his Ananda, is expressed Bhagavat Stavara Sadarana, Aishwarya Madhuja Tattva Visesh, Swarup Paramananda. His Swarup is composed of Srimati Radhika herself. Swarup Parama Ananda. The Parama Ananda Shakti is Radhika. Therefore, Devi Krishna Mayi Prokta. We're saying of this Radhika, she's Devi, she's the fullness of Krishna's Leela, right? And she's also permeates Krishna. Mayi means to permeate something. So she fully permeates Krishna, she's fully permeated by Krishna. You understand? So what thing is being expressed here is that there is no other reality. There is nothing else but Radha and Krishna. You understand? Everything else is a manifestation of that. This is also the meaning of Janmadhyasya Yataha. There is nothing else. Therefore, the verse Janmadhyasya Yataha is more explained where? Where is it first elaborated? In Srimad Bhagavatam. Where is it first elaborated? Chatushloke. Understand? Hameva Shameva Green Anyat Sarasat Param. It's explained there's nothing else but God. Second line, Rateyatam Yat Pratyeta Na Pratyeta. If you think there's something else, Tad Yat Atmano Maya. It's Maya. You understand? There's nothing but Bhagavan. The difficulty is that we also are trying to play Bhagavan, so it's difficult to accommodate there's a second Bhagavan. You understand? That's the essential problem. That it's difficult for us to understand that everything is Bhagavan because I'm also trying to play Bhagavan. You understand? So there can't be two of us because by nature Bhagavan means absolute. You understand? So I'm in my own world here thinking, yes, I'm also absolute. I'm the enjoyer. Because this is what the modes of nature do and the ahamkara does. Ahamkara means aham, I am, karana, the cause, and karta, the doer, the natural result of being the karna and the karta is I'm the bhokta, I'm the enjoyer. Therefore, until there's someone that gyan in the jiva, cannot actually do the process of bhakti properly. Understand? You can be on the path. You can develop sukriti pal. You can even come to the point of getting the association of a sadhu. But until there's the establishment of sambandha gyan, and as long as there's any kind of connection with the false egoism, that false egoism cannot touch bhakti. The egoism is of a different kind of shakti. Bhumi apona lovayu kamana burevacha hankara ityame tina prakriti ashtada. Aparayamadastuhanyam prakriti mirime param. Jiva bhuta mahabhayo. The jivas are a different shakti from what the ahamkar is. And like oil and water, they don't mix. So when the jiva has some inclination to practice bhakti, until and unless you establish the actual egoism, which is in sambandha gyan, you can never start the practice truly. Is everybody clear on this? You understand? You can be in the process of getting to the point of practice. Practice does not start until sambandha gyan. Krishna tells clearly, it's in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Diksha kare, bhakta kare, atma samarpan. What is atma samarpan?
Is it the surrender or giving of one's very self?
Yeah, but what are you giving up? Atma samarpan. What is the saranagati? What's being given up?
False ego?
False ego. Because you'll be schizophrenic. You can't have two egos. So for the degree we identify with the material world, and this is a very subtle thing, maybe a whole separate class we give today, Radhastami, different kind of kata. But this is something that during the course of traveling, I've been speaking about a lot for my own edification. That you have to, because what does it mean to give up false ego? Should I just drop everything, family, job, everything, just walk? That's not giving up false egoism. There are people who are sannyasi, fully renouncing and everything. Do they have false ego? Could be. Could be. You have the ahamkar, I'm a sannyasi. Therefore, before you chant your anik, what do you say? Naham vipro nanarapati. Why do we say this? It's called bhuksudi. To purify the abhiman that I'm anything except dasa, dasa, anudas. Then the question becomes, das who? If we meet and I introduce myself, you say, oh, my name is Abi. My name is human being. No, Prabhu, that's a category, We're all human beings. Who are you? Yeah, human being. So the same thing, Jivara Subhaya Krishna Nitya Das. Das is a category. Jiva Shakti, the Jiva Shakti is Das of Krishna. Who are you is what you have to push to understand. At the time of Diksha, when you do that, it says, Se kale Krishna tre kare atmasam. Krishna makes you like him, means it makes you transcendent to the false egoism. When that happens, it allows the nature of Swarup Shakti to exert its influence and start to reveal your actual identity. You understand? There's some that's already revealed at the time of Diksha. If you've taken Diksha from bona fide Guru, you understand? And you're chanting the Guru mantra, Jai Shri Shri Gurudev, Prabhupada, Jai Shri Shri Govinda Ji Ki Jai, Shri Sachinananda Gaura Ki Jai. If you're following an anugatya to that Guru, you understand? And you know the Swarup of that Guru. If you don't know your Guru Swarup, it also may be some ambiguous. But if you know the Swarup of your Gurudev, who must you be? You can't, other than that, there would be, you understand? Yeah, Prabhu, what are you doing? I'm in my third year of law school. Oh, you're going to be a doctor? Does that make sense?
Right.
I'm following, doing anugatya, doing sudden bhajan, trying to do deeply. In the anugatya of my Gurudev is Sri Nayana Mone Manjari. What I'm practicing to do. Therefore, what kind of das am I? Kaliya Dasi of Radhika. This is my abhiman. The details is what unfolds over the course of bhakti. Clear? But if you don't get established in dasitva first, then the specificity of that dasitva, your practice remains controlled to some degree by false ego. Srila Prabhupada has written, I believe it's in the second canto or second canto, that you'll be practicing bhakti, but it'll be infused with 81 different varieties of the modes of nature. Did I bring this up before? Understand? 81 different varieties of the modes will attack your practice in bhakti. You already have 27 obstacles to get over. 6 levels of Anushtita Bhakti, beginning with Utsamayi, right? Then 4 types of 4 natas. Then 5 types of subtle things. Loy, Vikshepa, Pratipatti, Rasaswar, etc. So already you got a mountain to climb. You understand? So this is why a devotee could be practicing 50 years and it's still a struggle. Because that one element hasn't been accomplished yet. All right, let's move on. Here we go. So, Radhika therefore appears on the Ashtami also. Because now Krishna's Leela becomes complete. Now, Radhika's permeating Krishna through and through because Radha and Krishna are not different. Radha Krishna Achahi Sada Eki Sarup. They've only taken 2 forms for the performance of Leela. That's why I mentioned in this verse, Devi Krishna Mai Prokta. Devi means Divyati, Leela. Because Radhika takes a form. And she becomes the Mool Shakti of all kinds of expansion of the Ladini Vritti in order to please Krishna in unlimited ways. Both as Swayam Rup Shri Krishna and also as all of the different expansions of Krishna. Ramari Murteshur Kalar Nyamena Tishtan. Every single avatar of Krishna has a Shakti. In all the Narayan avatars, what is his Shakti? Huh? Lakshmi. Lakshmi Mai Sarva. Who are the Lakshmis? You understand? In Lord Ramachandra, who's the Shakti?
Sita Devi.
Who's the origin of that Sita Devi? Radhika's all Shakti. Therefore, she's expanded only to create Leela Rasa in unlimited varieties. There's also many Leelas in Vaikuntha. I was in Tirupati and they tell you the whole story of Tirupati, how he became Srinivasan, then his Lakshmi left because of Bhrigu Rishi. So there are many pastimes in Vaikuntha as well. Not only Braj pastimes, Ramp, and many pastimes. So that Shakti is also there, accompanied by Leela Shakti. If you go to any temple in South India, on the altar you'll see Shri, Bhu, and Neela. Neela means Leela Shakti. The Shri Shakti, all the Shaktis belong to the category of Radhika. They're just doing different functions. Understand? So Radhika permeates Krishna, Krishna permeates Radhika, they're one Sarup. Therefore, even in the verse, Aradjo Bhagavan Brajesha, what is the meaning here of Aradjo Bhagavan? Aradjo Bhagavan. That form of Bhagavan who does Aradhana is Radhika. You You understand? So Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, for this verse I think is in Chaitanya Manjusa, Arajo Bhagavan Rajesha Tanai Tat Dhamma Vrindavanam. That Arajo Bhagavan is Radhika. Can you worship Krishna without worshipping Radhika? In any Ras. Any Ras needs what vritti? Ladini vritti. Is there any Ras that does not have Ladini vritti in it? Where will Ladini vritti come from? Who's the predominating deity of Ladini vritti? Everything is Radhika. All right, thank you very much, Haribol. But now, even Yogmaya Shakti, as Puramasi Devi, Brinda Devi, and even as Krishna Anuja explained on Janmashtami, all Shakti of Radhika. That's why Gurudev said, Krishna without his Shakti is Nirgun Brahman. That was being polite. You understand? If something has no power, what is it? Nothing. But Gurudev was being polite, so he said, it's like Nirgun Brahman. You understand? So Radhika is not different from Krishna. Krishna cannot exist without Radhika. And Radhika, her function, couldn't exist if it didn't have an object, which is called a Vishaya Jatiya. You understand? So they are one Sarup. You understand? Now, it's also explained what is Srimati Radhika in relation to that function. Ladini Sara Prem. Radhika's actual Sarup, it's going to come to this point, is actually Prem. This is what her Sarup is. This is what the Ladini Vritti functions as. It functions as Prem. What is Prem? First I want to ask, in this world, what is love? What is love? Somebody give me a definition in this world of love. Butterflies in the stomach? I don't know. I'm asking the question.
Sacrifice.
Huh?
Sacrifice.
Or suffering? It depends.
Commitment.
Commitment. Can you be committed?
Attachment.
Can you be attached? If you are, this is the thing. Here's the thing. If you are eternal, can you be attached to something temporal?
No.
Can you be committed to something temporal?
You can, but then you just continue in samsara.
Therefore, you know. Therefore, in the next iteration, you're not you.
Yeah, your perception is always changing.
Right,
like
and so is that other person.
Like the wind and the
So
Bhagavad Gita,
therefore, it's
the
mentioned.
essence.
Kaitavam rahitam prema na prema manushloke. Among manushloke means in the material world, you cannot say something is really prem. In other words, the Shastra is separating the definition of prem. Because love in the material world is this word we use as our lingo or the word for it really does not have a substantive meaning because it's not substantive itself. You understand? It's not an actual reality. You understand? Now, then there's some depression coming up. Wait a minute. I married this girl, right? And we have a family, everything. We don't have any love. If you are a devotee, Rupa Goswami has been very merciful. He told Tadati Pratabhinati Guyamakati Pichati Bhukte Bojayate Chaiva Sadvidam Priti Lakshanam. The quality of love is present because the centerpiece of those relationships in bhakti is Sri Radha Krishna, Mahaprabhu. Therefore, the qualities of love can also be shared in Grahastha life. When I took Diksha, when Gurudev gave the Rahasya and the Dhyan of all the mantras, he said, do not tell to anyone. Myself, Prem's husband, Sanatha, and Shanta Maharaj, we all took together. He said, but you can tell your wives, because every Grahastha has 4 eyes and 4 ears. You understand? So, Ladini Sara Prem, what is the meaning of Prem? Masunito, what is it? Samyam Masunito so anto mamato sankita. Bhava eva sandratma prema budaya nigajyate. So Rupa Goswami described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He described prem as that thing which further melts the heart after the stage of bhav. That thing is called prem. Masvinito so anto. It further melts the heart. How does the heart first become melted? What is the first melting of the heart? Bhav. What's the description of bhav? Verse. What's the verse there? Yes, sir. So what melts the heart? Ruchi chitta, masvinya. Masvinya means to melt. The ruchi that has been matured. Where did that ruchi come from? Huh? From where? Shraddha is the seed. But where did even before Shraddha, in one life to another, you're carrying on a continuum in bhakti. It's called bhakti samskaras, right? Praktanaka aduni chasti yatsat bhakti vasan. The bhakti samskaras of both praktana means previous and current, aduni, right? Where did the original impression come from? From a sadhu. From a sadhu. Yatotaram. Yatotaram. Yataso. Vishwalashomayapiye. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.5.38, this question comes up. And he's answering the question. Yatotaram. Yatyaswada. Visheshulashomayapi. He's saying Yatotaram. Because the question was, of all the different rasas, Madhurya rasa is highest. Okay, we recognize that. And this, of course, is subjective. Because if you're in Sakya rasa is fully tasteful to you. If you're in Vatsalya rasa is fully tasteful. But from a neutral position, Tatastha Vichar, then Madhurya rasa is highest. So he says, well, if that's the case, then what determines, Viseshulashmayipi, what determines who gets what type of rasa? So then he says, Rakti Vasanaya Swadi, Kapapi Bashyate Kasyate, Bashyate Kapi Kasyate. It depends on a Rakti Vasana, a samskar. Where did the samskar come? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, it came from a sadhu with that same kind of impression, that same mood. That samskar is what grows to be a particular type of ruchi. You understand? That ruchi, when it becomes mature, is what completely melts away the last vestiges of false ego and everything and reveals what is a swarup. Ruchi bis chitta masuninya babuchite. In the stage of a sakti, the abhas of that particular swarup becomes there. You understand? At the time, when is it given though? At the time of diksha. At the time of diksha, we say sambandha gyanangscha. It's given a diksha. But if the disciple is not yet mature, they can't resonate at the time of diksha. They think, oh yeah, this was really far out. On this day, I took initiation, I got the basmas on the head, I have a t-shirt from that festival, everything. But what the mantras meant and everything, I have no idea. I got the paper here, you understand? I recite the mantras off the paper, now I memorize them even. You understand? But what was the rahasya, what's the dhyan of the mantra, what's the artha of the mantra? Not there yet. And therefore, there's no real resonance with the mantra. This is what Guru Dev described as Vidvad Rudi Diksha versus Anushtanik Diksha. Right? So I'm not giving all of that. You understand? But when there's maturation and you resonate with the Diksha mantras and the Visay Sambandha Gyan and that particular iteration of your practice comes to life. Huh? That Sambandha turns into Sambandha Gyan. Visay Sambandha Gyan. Right? So now it's clear, I'm a das in the anugatya of Palyadasi Bhava Radhika or Sakya Bhava, whatever it might be. You understand? And now every life after that, that is never lost. So it only matures unless there is aparad. You understand? So now when that matures, it comes to the stage of asakti. The stage of ruchi means when you are tasting that through harikatha. You understand? Because the description is tat tat bhava adi madhyure shruti dirapekshate nasa sasana yuktingscha. You're not dependent on the sastra and the yukti in the sastra. The ruchi is separate from it. You understand this point? Yes. It's separate from that. So the ruchi that's being tasted in the harikatha is not dependent on the logic. Krishna was dancing with 1 billion gopis at Vamsivat. Wait a minute, I went to Vamsivat. How billion people? Even it was crowded when we were just 300 people. It was very crowded. You understand? So the mind doesn't go there. It doesn't look for causation. Like I give the example all the time. If you will taste halava, the very first time I went to temple, like 1972, and then I came back that Sunday for the feast. At the Sunday feast, they had halava, sweet rice, and malpur. So of course, that's probably the beginning of diabetic consideration. But anyway, that thing said was prasadam. You understand? But the thing is, when I tasted the halava and the different things, I didn't think, oh, what is this ingredient? How was it prepared? All I wanted to know if there were seconds. You understand? It wasn't concerning. Ruchi is like this. Ruchi means when you hear the katha, the udipan coming from that katha stimulates your sambandha gyan and you're tasting rasa samagri. by first Prabhu, because there's no container to fully taste the rus. Because rus requires a container. Vyatiti bhavana vatma jas chamatkara bharbahu. Really satle ujjale bhadam. Ujjala bhadam means your heart has, ujjala means your heart has to be illuminated with Suddha Sattva to contain the rasa. So you cannot contain it maybe at this stage. But in the stage of ruchi, especially when ruchi is coming into a sakti, then the container is suitable to hold the rasa samagri of the leelas that you hear. This then deepens the attachment to want to fulfill seva in that mood that you're hearing that leela in. That causes a shakti. A shakti means the stage at which I'm doing everything possible. I have nothing else. I'm only awaiting for your mercy now. There's nothing else I can do. Therefore, all the bhajans that are called Siddhalalas bhajans, Kobe Hobe, when will it happen? This is all a Shakti type bhajans. In a Shakti, at that stage, the heart is crystal-like because there's no more impressions really coming so much from the influence of the material energy. The crystal-like heart now accommodates a shadow, a bas, Sudakaraka, a bas, of the actual mood that you have. Ragatmakaya Tadrasa, Ragatmakaya Bhakti, Paripatashu, Api Ruchi Jayate. Ruchi in that Ragatmak Jan, whom you're following, appears as an abas on your chitta. You understand? When that happens, it only awaits the Kripa Shakti of Bhagavan. That Kripa Shakti will come from Radhika via Parampara. Then Suddha Sattva Viseshatma Prem Suyamsa Samyabha Ruchi Vish Chitta Masranya. That same Ruchi melts the heart completely, revealing the actual substantive form. This is called Swarup Siddhi. Bhavavasa is Swarup Siddhi, not Vastu Siddhi, but Swarup Siddhi. Now I can see the transcendental form, which is the manifest form of the Ruchi I have for Bhagavan. You understand? That Ruchi becomes a form. Now I can see that form. That form has Nam, Rup, Vyas, Vesh. Means all the elements of Swarup Shakti, of Bhavavas, which are 11 elements. Nam, Rup, Vyas, Vesh, Sambandha, Yuta, right? Agyai, Seva, Sambandha, Palyadasi Bhava, Nivasikaha. These 11 elements become clarified at the stage of Bhav. Now at the stage of Bhav, I'm doing practice in Bhavavas to obtain Vastu Siddhi in that next birth, which means I'll have a body composed of Sandhini Shakti. At the time of Bhav, I will be doing Sadhan Bhajan in Bhavavas and in Sadakavas. Understand? So this is described, Seva Sarika Rupena, Siddha Rupena Chatri. Understand? In my Sadakavas, I'm following whom? My Guru Parapadma and Guru Parampara to Rup Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, etc. In Siddhavas, I'm following my Guru Parapadma in his Manjari Sarup, and I'm also following to Rup Manjari, Rati Manjari, etc. You understand? Now, Radhika's form is completely composed of praying. What is that praying? I've already described the first part. Now, from the stage of the acquisition of Bhav, the heart is further melted by the ruchi of a particular kind of praying seva that you aspire for. You understand? So now, that praying, when it further melts the heart, it gives rise to a particular mamata towards Krishna. Mamata Sankita. So now Krishna is mine as a Sakha, as a Palyadasi of Radhika, which means that my service is to Radhika, and through Radhika my service is nourished to Krishna. Sanchari Sat Samunava Krishna Rati Sridrati Pushamana Sarikascha Babu Lasitiriyate. My mood of serving Radhika is what gives my service to Krishna. Is it clear? Yes. Okay. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it mentions any sthai bhav. It can only be related to Krishna's the Vishayani. But the verse says, sthai bhavu trasa prokta Sri Krishna Vishayani Rati. Sri here means Radhika. So therefore, my mood is service to Radhika, and that service to Radhika, pushamanas, it nourishes my feeling towards Krishna. So it doesn't break the principle of what is a sthai bhav. But that mood is adhika, continuously exceeding the Krishna Rati. So it's a permanent sanchari bhav kind of. that sounds contradictory because Sanchari Bhavs have a certain nature. But it is a Sanchari Bhav. Sanchari Shat Samunava. But it's permanent in the Manjaris. You understand? So now, Prem has elevations. So it says, Ladini Sara Prem, Prem Sara Bhav. In this shlok, it's encapsulating. So it says it is a Bhav. The Bhav means all of the steps of Prem up to Paramakasta Mahabhav. Because in the verse it says, Ladini Sara Prem, Prem Sara Bhav, Bhav Paramakasta Nam Mahabhav. So Bhav here means all the stages up to Mahabhav. So after praying, and we're talking about the Swarup of Radhika. You understand? This is our Harikatha for today. Understand? The Swarup of Radhika is Prem Swarup. That Prem, I've already described the qualities. That Prem then becomes Sneha. What happens in Sneha? Auroya Paramakoshta Chit Deepa Deepana Hridayam Dravyatam Iti Sneha. What happens in Sneha is that the prem itself, seeing its own function, the nature of Ladini Vritti, transforming, it illuminates itself. Now, there is one verse that comes 3-4 verses after the verse Sudha Sattva Viseshatma in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In this verse, it's very important because all the way when you get to Anurag in Ujjali Mani, it's going to give a reference all the way back to this verse. That verse is Avebuya Manovritam Avajayate Tatsarupatam Swayam Prakasha Rupopi Basamana Prakashavat. It's going to go back and tell you that when Sudha Sattva descends, what does it do? Avebuya Manovrito Vajayate Tatsarupatam. It descends and takes over the functions of your chitta. You understand? So now, where we thought before we were the doer, that's all gone because false egoism is gone. Who was controlling us when we were bound by the modes of... I just got ready to say it. Who was controlling when we were bound? The modes of nature. Prakriti, Kriya, Manani, Gunai, Kamani, Savasha, Ahamkar, Vimuratma, Katamitima, the modes of nature are controlling. Now it's saying once you have come to praying, once you're in the stage of Bhav even, it mentions Aviyaguya Manovrito, Vrajayate Tatsarupatam. This Swarup Shakti takes over the functions of your chitta. You understand? Bhajate Manaprakashavat. But because the Atma and Swarup Shakti become one, Bhajate means it seems like it's coming from me. There's no difference. It's not like I become hypnotized. Boom, hit him with Swarup Shakti. So it's not that kind of takeover. You understand? It feels like I have come to this position. You understand? Bhajate means it became illumined in me. It seemed like it came from me. You understand? It is Swayam Prakash. You understand? The Bhav is revealing itself. And because it's Swayam Prakash, it is also Swayam Aswaja. It is self-tasting. In other words, Prem itself tastes itself and increases itself. And because it has permeated your chitta is going along for that ride, for lack of a better word. You understand this? You're not in control. It's not like, okay, I made it to Bhav. What do we work on next? What are you doing, praying? All right. All right. Now let me get a study guide for the praying thing, and I'll do the praying. So no. You understand? The vrittis of Ladini vrittis and the Sambit vrittis of Swarup Shakti takes over your chitta. That's what's moving. And as you become more and more absorbed, they're moving your chitta vrittis in a certain way, from praying, then sneha, and in sneha hridayam dravyatam. The functions of the heart become, dravya means liquefied, completely. This stage is called sneha. It's at this stage that your chitta vrittis, according to the ruchi you had, take one of two paths. In the path that we are following, it takes the path called madhu sneha. The other path is called Vritta Sneha. That path of Vritta Sneha leads to the personification of whom? Chandravali. So Chandravali, and this is a very deep idea. Rupa Goswami, just amazing. He gives a description that ghee, is it tasteful or not? Do you like your preparations cooked in ghee?
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. So they give you a whole thali. Everything is nicely prepared in ghee. And we have a drink for you, Prabhu. Here's a cup of ghee. Well, I'm not sure about that. You understand? Because ghee's taste comes out best in relation to something else. Chandravali's praying, Chandravali's value comes out in relation to? No. To Radhika. She's the Vipaksh of whom? Radhika. I mean, she's the Vipaksh of Radhika. You understand? This is why, everybody understanding or no?
Yeah.
Like Chandravali is the ghee, Radhika is the...
Radhika is Madhu Sneha, she's honey. Because honey you can taste alone with nothing else. It's self-tasting, it's good. Doesn't need anything else. But if you add it to other things, it also still tasteful. But ghee needs to be mixed with something else to have taste. So Chandravali is actually, because remember in the beginning we said everything is Radhika. So Radhika is the standard. Now, to enhance the glory of the standard, a Vipaksh or an opposite polarity is there. But that polarity also has to be tasteful to Krishna or it's unusable. You understand? If there is a competition, and you put up a competition between two boxers, and one of them is Mike Tyson and the other one is, a 14-year-old fella from the street, would anybody want to go see that? In fact, we want to turn away from that. You understand? So in the same way, Chandravali's qualities have to be of a certain caliber to enhance the beauty of what is Radhika's qualities. You understand? Therefore, she's described as Grita Sneha because ghee, in combination with other things, is very tasteful. So Chandravali is tasteful from the point of view she represents enhancing the glory of Radhika. This will come out in the Gopi Geet in the verse Anyai Radhito Nunam Bhagavan Hari Ishvaraha. You understand? When they see Radhika and see the glory of her separation mood, I'll get to that later. You understand? So it's important to have that situation. What is Vipaksh of Radhika? And then from Vipaksh, you have Tatashtapak, Surit Paks like Shamala, then her own gopis like Walita Visakha, etc. But anyway, that Sneha takes two angles. Grita Sneha and Madhu Sneha. Those coming in this line, they angle towards Madhu Sneha. Because I'm describing Radhika Swarup in relation to how we want to serve her. To make it, connected. If I just describe the Swarupa Radhika, you can't follow how I'm connected. So following how your bhajan grows, then following what your perfection is, you can follow how your service is following the Swarupa of Radhika. You understand? In serving. So Radhika then takes the position, Madhu Sneha. That Sneha, when it becomes mature, Ahiri Premano Gati Swabhava Kutila Bhavet. Hetu Hetu Yudam Manam Udanchati. Manam Yudam Udanchati. It becomes crooked like the actions of a snake. In other words, this is the nature of love. Love, when it becomes enhanced, especially due to pranay or sense of familiarity, it takes a crooked form. That crooked form has a wonderful status called man. Radhika's man is not always born from a reason. It says hetu ahetu. Sometimes there's a reason, sometimes there's no reason. So why did a hetu man should exist? If there's no reason for you to become angry, why do you become angry? Because this man produces a situation in which there is some degree of separation. And in that degree of separation called man, it enhances meeting. You understand? Without separation, then meeting is not nourished. So man is important. So now it's saying, in this stage, that sneha can either grow to pranay or man, then pranay. But pranay is present in man, other than that it would not exist if you didn't feel a sense of familiarity. You understand? So now, here, in the stage of man, there are special qualities that are there. Right? I'm not going into detail here. One is called Lalit Man, and one is called Udat Man. That Lalit Man is very charming. All of the moods of man that you see in Radhika, all of the attempts of Krishna to break that man, is all due to the Lalit, or beautiful quality, of the man that comes from Madhu Sneha. You understand that? Because Chandravali, if Chandravali will become angry with Krishna, you know what she'll do? She'll put her head down a little bit. She will not say anything. You understand? And if Krishna, Gotra Skalana means if you call your beloved by the wrong name. So if Krishna will be with Chandravali and call her Radhika by accident, she'll smile. You understand? She'll smile like this and put her head down. You understand? And then if Krishna will put his arm around her, she won't say anything, but what she may do is she may take this arm and just put it on her lap and hold his hand. You understand? This is Grita Sneha turning into Udattaman. If Krishna will call Radhika by the wrong name. You understand? If he will call Radhika by the wrong name, then there's a saying, all spiritual, breaks loose. You understand? So, this is the quality of, but Krishna's telling, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's mentioned there, Priya Yariman, Kori Tandara Vatsan, Vedastuti Hoite Hari, Harishay Monaman. When Radhika becomes angry like this and begins to rebuke me, it is so sweet to my ear that even if they're reciting Purusha Shukta and all the Vaikuntha planets, I'll be stolen away from that to hear the Tanda Vatsana, the chastisement of Radhika. Because it's full of prem. You understand? So this is called pranay. Man, pranay. Rag. What is this rag? Dukkha marikam chitte shukatena evarajayate. That even when there is a cause for there to be misery, simply on thinking, possibly, that it may cause me to have association with Krishna, all of that misery becomes colored. The word Vrajayate means it becomes permeated by the greatest kind of happiness. Then Rupa Goswami goes on to describe what is the greatest kind of unhappiness for any lady in Braj. Her chastity to become questioned. You understand? Therefore, Radhika's almost eternal Leela is being questioned by whom? Jatila Kutila, about her chastity. And because in the nature of conjugal prem, in Parakya Bhav, it is already dulabat, it's very difficult to meet. So because of that, and because of the fear of the great suffering that comes from being chastised about your chastity, it becomes overwhelmingly painful. But if she will hear, Krishna says, he wants to meet you at this place, at this hour. That thought alone, Shukya Evarajayate, will make Radhika's whole existence become happy. Even while Jatila and Kutila are in each ear, chastising her about her chastity. Even while in both ears, she'll become completely blissful. On the other hand, if Radhika is forbidden from seeing Krishna, like it was once told that Jatila thought, listen, why is it that I'm having my daughter every day go all the way from here to Nandagan to cook for Yashoda's son? I also have a son. She's married to my son. Why am I allowing every day she has to go, plus hearing about the qualities of this boy. One quality of Krishna is called, what is it? Dukula Kamini. Dukula Kamini means that person who is so lusty, he contaminates both dynasties. Those who are unmarried girls and even those who are married. You understand? Dukula Kamini. So then he's telling, why should I let my daughter go there? Understanding this. So therefore she told, no, from today on, you're not going there anymore. At that time, Radhika became so overwhelmed, she fainted there, and her whole body turned blackish color, and her body was burning. You understand? Burning in separation. You understand? Then there's a whole pastime that unfolds to that, but I'm just giving an idea. Then, of course, you can read in, what is this? Chamaka Chandrika, yes. Then Krishna comes in the form of a woman, so many pastimes of form, as a snake charmer and so forth and so on. You understand? So in this way, even if there's a slight ability that I might see Krishna, even the greatest kind of unhappiness becomes happiness. That rag, when it becomes more intensified, it becomes anurag, and this anurag is extremely special. What is this anurag? Saranubhutam kuryoyam navanava priyam. Rago bhavan navanavaha. So, navanavaha means it becomes newer and newer. Not only the rag itself, anurag, not only the prem itself, but the object of the prem seems to become newer and newer. So both Krishna seems like he's becoming more beautiful, and the rag that causes that feeling also is increasing and becoming newer. This stage is called anurag. The feature of anurag is that it is the, if you read Jaiva Dharma, chapter 26, I believe it is, it mentions this is the sty bhav of gopis. Understand? This is the platform under which conjugal or madhurya rasa exists. Understand? This level called Anurag.
And the other rasas go that high?
Not to Anurag. Not to Anurag. This Anurag has also speciality. Anuraga swasambeja dasha prakyupakashita yavarashraya vittischet bhavutirite. This Anurag has the feature that prem itself takes over the lover and the beloved. So I've always been reluctant to describe this in public setting like this sometimes, but to make it relatable. So I'm bearing in mind, obviously everybody here knows that prem is a transcendental quality, not a quality of mundane lust. But to give the example, anytime any man and woman come together, you understand? They may observe a certain amount of etiquette. As the nature of their dealings and the passion in those dealings increases, what happens? More and more of their individual discrimination gets lost. You understand? And as passion reaches a zenith, then the passion takes over and both people submit to the passion. We're adults. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to go beyond this point here. So, Anurag has this quality. Swasamveja dasha. When prem at that level looks at itself, it increases itself, becomes its own entity, so to speak, and takes control of the lover and the beloved. So any sense of their individuality becomes lost in the operations of the prem. You understand? Ramananda Roy, he wrote a poem about it. Pahili Nayana Raga Bhanga Vela Anudina Mavari Badhala Nagela Naham Ramana Nasoramani Manobhava Dui Manobhava Peshali Jani. Oh Krishna, from the time our eyes first met, our love began to grow. Anudina means day after day. Now it has grown unlimitedly. Now I am no longer the lover and you're no longer the beloved. Rather, love itself has taken us over and has pressed us together. You understand? It's written in Ramananda Samvad. This is prem is from Jagannath Vallabhanatakam, but it's mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Right? So this is the stage of Anurag. One thing I think I missed was Pranay. I talked about Pranay, but the definition of Pranay is Pranaya Shasya Visramba Katitam Buddhi. It means, Pranay means that state in which there is complete sense of oneness. You understand? Like Radhika, if Radhika is dancing in the Ras Leela and she begins sweating profusely, many times her manjais will come and wipe her brow. But if it doesn't happen, she'll take Krishna's pitambar, wipe her face, and put it back. You understand? Because she feels so sense of intimacy. You understand? In this sense of pranay, she will tell Krishna, can you paint my feet? Can you decorate my hair? This is coming from pranay. Such a deep sense of intimacy. You understand? Also, in Chandravali, if Krishna will put his left arm on Chandravali, Chandravali will very deftly move to the other side where the right arm can be put on. Because technically you shouldn't do left hand. Understand? If Krishna will put his left hand on Radhika, Radhika will take and she'll turn around and embrace with her left hand. You understand? Because they feel like we are one body. This is the influence of Anurag. It is Anurag that turns into Mahabhav. So let's go back to the original verse. Ladini Sara Prem, Prem Sara Bhav. So we've covered all the steps up to Anurag. You understand? That Anurag turns into Mahabhav. So in that verse it's saying, Ladini Sara Prem, Prem Sara Bhav, Bhav Paramakasta. The highest degree of this Bhav is called Mahabhav. So Anurag turns into Mahabhav. This Mahabhav has two divisions. They are called Rud and Adi Rud. You understand? In this Adi Rud, in this Rud Mahabhav, the love becomes so intense. Nime Shata Shata Asanata Janata Vrit Valodanam Shanata Kalpita Oh Sukhe Kina Sukhe Kina Tat Sukhe Api Sankaha. So it's describing what is Rudabhav. Nimeshata Shala. She cannot stand for 1 second to be outside the vision of Krishna. Where is this expressed? These things are good because when you hear these things and then you read Gopi Geet, it gives some resonance. So if you read Gopi Geet and it's saying, Atatite Bhavan Anikananam Tripayugayate Tvam Apashatam. Oh Krishna, when you go out for cow grazing only. Is Krishna cow grazing in Vrindavan? Yes. But she's saying, when you go out for cow grazing, even 1 second of not seeing you is like a yuga has passed. You understand? Not seeing your face for even a second. This is called Nimeshita Shata. Cannot stand to not see Krishna or be with Krishna even for 1 second. They become completely absorbed. The nature of that love is so high, it exits from their heart and enters the hearts of others. So already in Anurag, we describe Yatvad Ashraya Vritti. Here in the verse, it's saying the function is Asana Janatarit Valodanam. So now Radhika's praying becomes so high that even not seeing Krishna for a minute, she cannot stand it. That mood exits her heart and enters into the heart of Rup Manjari, Rati Manjari, Lavanga Manjari, Asakis, etc., etc. Asanata Janatarit Valodanam. And it churns their heart with that same mood. You understand? Then, Shana Kalpata. Shana Kalpata means that they're dancing in the Rasa dance. And they're dancing for one night of Brahma. But the gopis experience that though 1 second has passed. Understand? These are the feelings in Ruda Mahabhav. Then, Kina Tat Suke Kina Tat Suke Tat Asankaya. Here it means, Kina means suffering. So it means, even when Krishna is happy, Sukha, he's happy, they think perhaps he's unhappy and he's suffering. You understand? Because the love is so high that it causes reversals in the psychology. So Krishna's with us, everything, but we're thinking maybe he's not happy. You understand? So this is Kina Tat Sukha Apya Sankaha. Sanka means a doubt. We doubt whether he's happy even when he's with us. Mohe abhave, mohe abhave, sada atma visrama sada. It means that even when a person is with Krishna, they can become so bewildered, mohe abhave, they don't faint, but they just become stunned and they're looking at the beauty of Krishna. Understand? Without fainting. And then, shana kalpata. It means the opposite of the other thing. That in the Rasa Lila, they dance with Krishna for a night of Brahma, but they thought 1 second had passed. Similarly, when they're not seeing Krishna, it's like a whole yuga has passed. I already mentioned that part. And yoga viyoga stitaha. It comes both in meeting and separation. This description of what is Ruda Mahabhav. Can it get deeper than that? Ruda Mahabhav, seeing its own nature, becomes more intense and becomes Adi Rud. So Rud becomes Adi Rud. What happens? If Krishna is embracing a lover in another place, Kante Shlishte Mochina, he's embracing Rukmini in Dwarka. But just upon embracing Rukmini, he remembers Radhika and he faints. You understand? This is the nature. Because Radhika's own prema is so deep, it's also affecting him. You understand? Then it says, Dukkha Sweetkara Asya. Dukkha Asya Sweetkara. Tat Sukha Kamata. So it says, I wish for even unhappiness. You understand? I even wish for unhappiness if my unhappiness will cause my lover to be happy. You understand? If the lover will be happy, I'm embracing, I'm wishing for unhappiness. Then he's saying, Swabhutaya Sangataha Trishna Mrityu Pratishravat. I'm also praying that, listen, in the absence of Krishna, the separation is so great, I'm praying may death come. Why? Because if death will come, Swabhutaya Sangata, my bodily elements can leave and they can mix with the bodily elements of Krishna. You understand? This is an Anirudh Bhav. Then Divya Maradjay. Divya Maradjay means it also produces other features of Divya Unmad. Divya Unmad means like Chitra Jalpa and Udgar. Chitra Jalpa is in the 47th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam in Brahmar Geet. So the speaking to the bumblebee is called Divya Unmad. And Udgana means extraneous efforts. Like even after Krishna is gone, they search for Krishna in different places. And if Radhika will see a tamal tree at a distance, oh, Krishna did not leave. Akrura must have left him, or he didn't go. He's standing right there. And then they will run towards that tree. And as they come closer to the tree, they'll embrace the tree and then they'll think, Oh, has he been in the gym? No, I'm kidding. No, they'll embrace the tree. Think, but Krishna's become so hard, his body's so soft. Then they'll realize it's a tree. Separation will take place all over again. And then they'll continue. This is called Divya Unmad. That Divya Unmad reaches a level where the separation mood in Divya Unmad becomes so deep that it's expressed Ruda Akya Bhavo Yam Sambhoga Vipranambika. The Vipranamba that's produced from that is so powerful that it forces Krishna to appear. The separation itself forces Krishna to appear. Krishna cannot compete with that. You understand? In my presence, sometimes I saw you do Prem Vaichitya. Prem Vaichitya takes place even in Anurag. Parispara Bhava means there's a mutual love between two people, and Prema Vaichitya Kantata. It also causes Prema Vaichitya. This is an Anurag. Here it's saying that unlike Prema Vaichitya, Krishna says that even in my presence, sometimes you experience separation. But here, I'm Mathura and Dwarka, I'm hearing that your mood of separation is so deep. But even in that mood of separation, you're associating with me. Sambho Vipranambika. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Jiva Goswami describe the suffix on the end of the word Vipranambika means that separation produces Krishna's presence. You understand? So therefore, Gurudev one time, which was very difficult to digest long ago, he told the Katha, when Krishna observed that Radhika could even be with him and still experience separation, he realized that her separation mood is something that I cannot reciprocate with. Therefore, he decided to leave Braj. Because their love, so just think how deep this is. The love itself is deeper than the direct presence of Krishna because it can cause the direct presence of Krishna. Just think about it. Meeting and separation. The meaning of Viroha is, what is it? V says Rahasya Milan. This is the actual meaning of the word.
But is it like a sporty or?
Not this. Now listen to this. This is what's deep. Don't think it's a sporty. He says in the verse, Nirbharananda Purana Premavadi Ishate. It is Nirbharananda. The bliss of meeting is actual meeting. It's nearby. It has no limits. Paramavadi therefore become fully absorbed in it. Don't think. Krishna told the gopis when he saw them, I come to you, I'm with you every day. Don't doubt this. You understand? He told them. Because he's saying, Paramavadi Ishate, become completely absorbed in that mood. Because in that mood, my presence is garnered. Then it says, Vir'a Dvigona Virhartati Spurate Anuragaje. It is not like the spurtis that come in Anurag. In Anurag, if the gopis feel separation, they get a darshan of Krishna. When they get a darshan of Krishna, then that vision disappears. They feel double separation. So he's saying, don't think it's like that. But rather, Sava Abhista Shakutsavaha. It's the highest form of happiness in love. So Radhika's separation at the very highest level, it is called Mohan Bhav. Adirud has Modan. Krishna can reciprocate with Modan. Means they're meeting together. But in Mohan, he cannot reciprocate. This spawned the verse. Narapareham Niravaja Samyudam. Swaswarukritam Vibhuru Yashmi. It spawned that verse. I have no way to repay you. I cannot reciprocate with this. In fact, it fascinates me. I want this mood. This is why he becomes Mahaprabhu. Up to the point of Modan, meaning Krishna can reciprocate. But the Mohan Bhav is such a high quality thing, he cannot reciprocate it with. So he tells Napariham Nirvaja Samyujam. Therefore he says, let your praying be its own reward. Why? Because the praying can do things I can't even do. You understand?
Wow.
This is Radhika Swarup.
Wow.
You understand? This is Radhika Swarup. Because it says, Prem, Ladini Sa Prem, Prem Sara Bhav, Bhav Paramakastana Mahabhav. The highest class of Mahabhav is called Madda Nakya Mahabhav. You understand? What is the definition of Madda Nakya Mahabhav? Yoga Esha Bhavet Esha Vachitti Kopi Madanaha Vrajavidasa Virajanti Nitya Sahasrida. It's saying that this Madan Bhav, which is Radhika's own Bhav, Mohan Bhav is also only in Radhika. That level of it. Vicariously, the other gopis can, not all gopis, her own party can experience. You understand? Up to Anurag, and some things of Ruda Bhav can be experienced by all gopis. But this, especially Adi, Ruda Bhav, Modan, etc., is exclusive to Radhika's party. It's written in Jalingwani. Understand? Mohan at the highest levels, and Madan is exclusively in Radhika. You understand? This Madan Bhav is saying Yog Asia. Certainly in this Bhav, there's always Yog. You understand? Yog Asia Bhavet Asia. Vachitri Kopi Madanaha. This is the Vichitri means this is the special quality and wonder of this Madan Bhav. Vrajavilasa Virajante. But it only illuminates itself where? In Vraj. Vrajavilase Virajante. The vilas of this kind of mood is only experienced in Vraj, which means Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. You understand? Because Radhika's Bhav prevents Krishna from leaving. The leaving is a leela to inspire this level of separation by which Krishna cannot leave. You understand? Because therefore the prema is superior. The leela of Krishna is not superior. Therefore in the leela, Purva Vrajavilasa Itina Vilas, he still had 3 desires to be fulfilled. Where does he fulfill those desires? In Gaur Leela. And Gaur Leela is called what kind of Leela? Prem Purushottam Leela. So in Gaur Leela we get the real explanation. Everything is Prem. And who is Prem? Nadini Sar Prem, Prem Sar Bhav, Bhav Parmakastanam. Mahabhav Swarupini Shi Radha Thakuran. This was the point I wanted to make. So by describing the glory of all of these levels of praying, you could realize this is the Swarup of Radhika. You understand? Our desire is to serve that. This is what Palyadasi Bhav is. So I'm making connection. Our sadhana and our sadhan bhajan is to gain siddhi in order to serve this kind of praying. Now, Savabala Gamalamksi, every single element of that description of praying from Bhav to Madan Bhav stays in its own separate category and is individually tasted by Radhika. They don't merge one into another. You understand this? So it's not like, no?
Looks like you are not realizing.
No, well, yeah, realize. I'm repeating for savor. You understand? But that Madan Bhav, it's not like it merges and becomes like one homogeneous experience of Radhika. She's tasting every one of these things from that position. Therefore, it's mentioned Nityalila Sahasrada. Vrajavilasa Virajate Nityalila Sahasrada. What does that mean? Radhika is experiencing meeting and separation of Krishna in various prakoshts in that Braj. The power of her mood in Madan Bhav and in Mohan, highest order of separation, produces directly the experience of Krishna. Dear Bharananda means unchecked. When Krishna is present in Vrindavan itself, there's always the fear that he's going to leave. But once Krishna is gone, it's called Bhutta Milan. Once Krishna is already gone to Mathura, then Dwarka, there's a reconciliation in the heart. They take shelter of the praying of Krishna. Therefore, there's another lesson here. What produces Krishna? Not Krishna himself. Praying for Krishna. And who has the highest praying and who's the Swarup of praying? Therefore, who do you want to serve if you want to serve Krishna? Gaur Premanande Bolo Shri Radharani Ki Jai. Question.
In Modan and Mohan, is it Modan, Mohan, and then Manan?
Yes.
So with Modan,
there's meeting.
There's meeting, and Mohan is separation.
Because Modan means happiness.
So then how does it go to Madan?
Modan means happiness. The happiness of their Milan. When Krishna is gone, because we operate on 2 principles, meeting and separation. At that level of Bhav, when he's gone, it's called Mohan. The Mohan, when it reaches extreme portions, produces the form of Krishna which only manifests in different prakoshts. It's again called Madan. Madan means happiness also. But here it's saying this happiness is Yogesha. It only produces meeting. How? If Radhika will experience separation, her separation immediately produces a prakosha in which they're meeting. You understand?
Is this during Balaram Ras? Is that how Baladev then produced?
Different thing, no, different. Balaram and his Rasyatra, then when he comes to visit the gopis, they have deep mood of separation. But Baladev Tattva has the ability to manifest also Krishna. Like Nityananda also can manifest Gaur, like in Panihati. Baladev can manifest Krishna. Uddhav could not. That's why he told Uddhav, Gacha Vrajamurva Somyam Pritta Apritaro Prityavaha. But Mad Yogi, Mad Gopi Viyogadim, Mat Sandeshari Vimochaya. Give my message to the gopis. Don't try. To my parents, he said, Pitaro Prityavaha. Show them love. You have a capacity. You can show them love. But to the gopis, you have no capacity for this. So give them my message. But Baladev, he has capacity to directly manifest Krishna. You understand? Because Krishna's body is composed from who? Huh? No.
Sandini Shakti.
Sandini Shakti from Baladev Tattva. Baladev can produce. Because Baladev, Seva Vastu Seva Vritti. Is there a higher service than to bring Radha and Krishna together? Baladev cannot be like in Manjari Bhav, right? Except functioning like a Nanga Manjari, the discussion we had earlier. So Baladev in his Seva Vritti, what would be the greatest service to Krishna? Going to Braj. If he went there and spoke the same thing Uddhav spoke, but listen, I'm different, I'm Baladev. You know, let me give the resume, I'm Baladev, he's Uddhav. Not like, so he said, no, I have a special power. Uddhav didn't have that. You heard the Sandesh wasn't satisfied. Understand? In fact, at the time that Uddhav was even here, you were so absorbed that you were speaking to a bee. You understand? And through 10 kinds of jal, you expressed all kinds of sanchari bhav. Means Radhika was completely absorbed. You understand? Only the idea of messengers was there, is why she said that the bee was a messenger. Vishnu Chakravarti said, Thakur says, who was the bee? Krishna himself. Understand? But because there was an idea that the messenger came, they saw his chariot all the day before, she has this absorption. The messenger came. Oh, here's the messenger. And therefore she became absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and started reciting various verses. Madhuvadi Kaitava Bandhu Masama Spashangi Sapatnyaha, these verses like this. Understand? So Baladev, he could manifest Krishna. But their separation mood is so high, Sambo Vipralambika. You can read this in Ujjahimani. It has the power in their Vipralamba to manifest Krishna. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says the suffix ka, time for Arti?
No, it's offerings.
The suffix ka itself means to produce something. So he gives the example, like in the jiva, the various kinds of miseries are produced by Ariyatmat ka, Adidaivat ka, Adibautik ka. It means they're produced from those sources. So here, Vipralambik ka. The Vipralamba is producing the presence of Krishna. But he's clarifying, it's not like the sporty that comes in Anurag. It's actually Krishna himself.
And what is the Pradipta and Sudipta when suffix clause?
Yeah, Jumai, Jwali, Dipta, Sudipta, Udipta. In the various stages of prem, the capacity of the intensity of the Astasattvic Vikar are categorized by Jwali, lit, Jumite, smoldering, Jwali, lit, Dipta, blazing, Sudipta, more blazing, now Udipta rather, more blazing, and Sudipta, fully blazing. So in Radhika, the Astasattvic Vikars come in Madan Bhav in fully blazing form. Understand?
So when Krishna was in Dwarka, he's sometimes crying. It's separation. So who is that? Which Krishna is that?
No, that's Vijayanath and Krishna being influenced by the prema of Radhika. It's mentioned also in Adinud Bhav. Brahmanda Shobhakaritam Tiskararam Apirodanam. That Bhav becomes so deep, it affects the entire universe. Therefore, Tiskaram Apirodanam, it makes the animals even weep.
Krishna doesn't go outside Vrindavan, so what's he doing?
In Dwarka, it's simply a Virohe Prakosh. It's not a, because in the Nitya Lila, there is no separate place, Mathura and Dwarka, it's a Abhiman. In the Nimitic Lila, then Krishna does that in order to show the glory of Sudur Pravas and Samriddhiman Sambhog. Sri Chitrabaji spoke on this one time, that the activities here in the Nimitic Lila have some superiority to the Nitya Lila. Because here, when Krishna goes to Mathura, then to Dwarka, it is called Sudura Pravas. It means he's gone to a distant place for a long time and has come under the control of others. Like in the other kinds of meeting and separation, the meeting that takes place after Sudura Pravas is called Samriddhiman Sambhog. Where does that take place? At Kurukshetra. Understand? So that pastime is only performed here. Yeah? So Dwarka and Mathura, they don't have any meaning except to be Udipan for separation. Other than that, there's no real meaning to Mathura and Dwarka. In fact, when I went to visit Dwarka, the Pujari there said, this place, Dwarka, it means Dwara Kaha in Hindi. Dwara Kaha means where's the door? Where did this place come from? Understand? Krishna was in Mathura, and there was some fear that Jarasan and other demons who wanted to attack him, realizing the proximity to Braj and his affinity for the Brijabasis, would attack the Brijabasis. So the Brijabasis at the same time, called the Gopal Champu, they were doing one yagya for Krishna's protection. So in the yagya they were saying, oh, may Krishna be protected by a moat, may his arms be protected, may his head be protected, may his limbs be protected, may he be surrounded by water, etc., etc. The combination of the Brijabasis' desire for his protection and Krishna's own desire to protect the Brijabasis, they all went to sleep one night, and you know how the Jamuna, you could hear the sort of flow of the river. They woke up the next morning, they heard waves crashing. They were in Dwarka. Understand? Overnight. This Gopal Champu says, overnight, they woke up in Dwarka. Where did that place come from? Then the Puranas, oh, Vishwakarma came, and Vishwakarma, first of all, it says Vishwakarma also carved the deities of Jagannath. Only some Puranas will say like this. Gurudev told who carved the deity of Jagannath? Gurudev told many times, also it's written in his book. His name was Anantarana. He was a Brahmin who was Krishna in disguise. How Vishwakarma will know what is the mood of Mahabhav? I'm not offending Vishwakarma. Just want to make that clear. You understand? I don't want my house to fall apart. I'm just saying.
Your roof is coming. You're going to have to get a new roof soon.
I do have to get a new roof now. I don't think I have to previous apparatus. Anyway, point being that how he'll know what is Mahabhav. So when Krishna promised to Narada Muni, he asked him, will you manifest this form, your Mahabhav Swarup here, right? Realizing the high class of Radhika's praying, he said to Tastu. So Krishna made the promise. Krishna himself carved the deity because he knew this mood and he knew what the Astasattvic Vikar was. So Jagannath's root, his Murti, is an Astasattvic Vikar. It's a very rare thing to see that Murti. Understand? Now, the Murti of Jagannath is an Astasattvic Vikar. His limbs are shrunken, his eyes are dilated, he's shedding tears, right? And you can't see, but there's romanch, everything is there. Understand? Not only because he's in deep mood of separation, being in Dwarka, somebody brought up earlier, right? But also because in Gaur Leela, the desires not only of Krishna fulfilled when he tastes the moods of Radhika, but the desires of all the Radhika and all the gopis are fulfilled because in Srimad Bhagavatam, does Krishna return to Vrindavan? And in Gopal Champu, it mentions he returns after killing Dantavaka, but some say that was only for 2 months. But in Gaur Leela, Krishna Vrajalana Jaye Bhavantra, the whole Rath Yatra is the mood that Krishna successfully brought back to Vrindavan. And really, when he comes back to Vrindavan there, he never leaves, because when they do the Bola Yatra, means returning, he goes out the side door. You understand? To show Krishna is actually never leaving Vrindavan. So some prakash of Krishna's leaving, coming back to Dwarka, just like in Gopal Champu. Just like the same thing in Gopal Champu. So this was very important because actually to make a connection between our practice and our service to Radhika Swarup, we have to understand what is Radhika Swarup. Radhika Swarup is Prem Swarup. You understand? You understand? And if you want to serve Radhika, what kind of Swarup will you need to have? A Prem Swarup composed of Palyadasi Bhav. You understand? They're not two separate things.
Did Krishna's Mahaprabhu, did he ever got to taste experience Srimati Radhika's friend? Well, he can.
You have to ask Mahaprabhu.
Because I heard
this argument that he doesn't really taste, he's always in the endeavor to taste.
because why he comes every, he keeps coming and coming and coming. You know, this is the argument of Maharaj. I heard him attack.
Every day of Brahma comes
He
again.
He comes again.
Yeah.
There's no limit. So he's,
Oh, there's no limit, yes.
so
But it doesn't mean he did not taste.
no,
Because
he tastes, but like
he tastes,
to
yeah.
to the extent
But
that
that's like I'm saying, what's your favorite prasad? Huh?
he likes
Here.
Kheer.
here.
How many times you eat kheer? In one setting, you may be full. But then in the next feast, you'll eat kheer again?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
How you want to?
You understand?
Yeah,
So, Krishna will come again and again in the 28th cycle.
yeah,
It's also a long time.
yeah.
I don't know, right? 1,728,000 years, 296,000 years, 864,432,000 years. That has to go around one time as a Divya Yu. That goes around 71 times. And that goes around 71 times. It's one Manavatar. In the 7th Manavatar, in the 28th cycle, Krishna appears, then Mahaprabhu appears. That's
And I remember how you mentioned that there's a symptom when separation.
verse in Gopi Gita.
How could their death bring them happiness? That's
Huh?
the question. But how could their death bring Krishna happiness?
It's the aspiration for that death. Trishna, mrityu apraj, that mood. I want to die to serve you. If you're trying to be romantic and you tell her, "Oh my darling, I will die to serve you," she'll be happy. No, she will. I will die to serve you. Oh. Understand? But you're not really planning on dying or anything. You understand? But there's so much loss in the mood. You understand? Huh?
So how is it as the Sanchari Bhav?
Huh?
Isn't death one of the Sanchari Bhav?
Mritti, one of the 33 Sanchari Bhavs. But the Acharyas mentioned it's not really death. It's what's being described here in Adi Bhav. It's the idea that if I could give up my life to please Krishna, I would do that. In the Vasikrita verse of Gopi Gita, Yate Sujata Charanam Buranam Staneshu, Pita Sanai Dadari, Mahi Karakoseshu, Tinatavim Vyatate, Atasi Vyatate Nakimswit, Kupari Beer, Brahmati, Bhava Mayusannaha. They're saying the same thing. They're saying, listen, we know that you came and you wanted to place your feet on our hearts. This was your desire. This would make you happy. But we're thinking, having tried to find you, to please you, and you've wandered through the forest, stepping on very sharp stones, we feel that our hearts have become so hard by this, you would no longer derive pleasure. You understand? When Krishna hears this, that's it. It's a wrap. Tasam avivach chori smaya manamakam bojam pitambara daraswagri sakshat manmat. Then Krishna appears before them. Now there's a very deep thing in that verse also. Pitambara daswargi. Daswargi means he's holding in between his hand his pitambara to beg. I'm very sorry for this ploy of disappearing. I wanted to see this kind of praying that you have in separation. You understand? Just like Radhika, when he separated from Radhika, what is this? Nata Ramana praise the Kwasi Mahabuja, this short. You understand? How deep was her praying? That even when all the other gopis showed up, even the Vipaksh gopis became Taratmika Radhika's mood. It was so overwhelming. Understand? I wanted to see the height of this mood. That's the only reason I disappeared. But when I reappeared to you, your love in Anurag, right? Sada Anubhuta Priya Navanavaha Priya. It makes the Priya appear more beautiful. So now as Krishna is being described as Sakshat Manmat. Means he's directly appeared to them in the highest form of the beauty of Cupid. He wasn't beautiful before he left. Did his beauty change? Their love, yes. This is the point that's being made. That their Anurag became so much more intense. And that intensity of the Anurag produces Nava Navaha Priya, that the object of my love became more beautiful. Not only that, but Raga, right? Raga Bhavo Nava Navaha. Even the feeling itself became more new. Understand? If we understand these things, this is Radhika. Because people say, yes, I want to serve Radhika. What is Radhika? Radhika. This is Radhika. She's the embodiment, according to these verses I described, she's the embodiment of this praying. And that prem is so wonderful that we want to serve that prem. Krishna will be so happy. Therefore, Palirvasi Bhav is so high class of mood. My Gurudev had that mood. So I'm spending my life in pursuit of that. If I have to take another birth, Ravanath Das Goswami said, if you want this kind of mood, what is that verse? Yariche Rajavasam Saragam Prati Janur. Then you should be prepared. I may spend life after life, no harm. I don't need liberation, anything. Understand? I only want this mood. Arti?
Yeah, one last thing. So, I can very easily tolerate separation from Krishna, but I can't tolerate people insulting. So how do I go from that stage to that stage?
That, we usually hit Google Maps for that. that one, yeah, we got to get a whole AI translation. No, so I mentioned we have to first become very deeply absorbed. Mahaprabhu told to Ravanath Das Goswami, Antra Nishtakara Bhaya Lok Vyavyahar. You have to become deeply absorbed in your inner mood and everything else that become background noise. You understand? There's so many things going on in the world. But who am I? This question is integral, and we have to repeat the question to ourselves. Who am I? I am Krishna Das. I may not understand everything. I'm Krishna Das. As Krishna Das, does all these different things have anything to do with me? Who do they have something to do with? The false egoism and the upadi. Right? Because avidya produces asmita, means I'm something other than the Das of Krishna. What am I? The false ego that says you're the doer and the cause, your false ego. But there's so many different kinds of false. Oh, let me give you a particular name. You're John Doe. You're born to Sally Doe and Sam Doe. That's called an upadi. This is where the verse comes from. Sava upadi vinir muktam. Give up all these upadis and give up the connection with false egoism. That's not me. The phrase I'm not the body is true, but we don't understand that the phrase I'm not the body means I'm not the false ego, because it's not. In other words, the 5 elements are not giving you the problem. It's the false egoism. And the intelligence and the mental, they're functions. Divritti, and manavritti. Right? Because the intelligence's job is, all right, what do you want to do? You want to be happy. All right, let me look in the database, come up with some things for you. And it presents it to the mind. Here you go. Well, these are some of the things I found from the past. Right? Oh, you want me to keep looking? It keeps looking. And then the mind is in the mode of goodness, because the mind says, that one is good. And settles down. The intelligence is in the mode of passion, searching. Yeah, let's do this. Well, what about this one? This one seemed like a good idea. No, but maybe not, because last time you did this, didn't work out. Okay, let's do this. You understand? The false egoism is the one that's saying, do this. It's giving the demand. Therefore, it says the modes of nature are controlling your chitta. You understand? So now I have to realize that's not me. I'm the Das of Krishna. That's the first realization that he told. When he asked him, who am I and why am I suffering? He said, oh, well, here's the answer. Krishna and you're Das. First of all, you're Das of Krishna. You're not a hum anything. You're Das Osmi. And the reason you're suffering is because you have a nature that lends itself to being influenced by the idea that you're a part of this material world. Now I'm Das of Krishna. It doesn't mean I have to change anything. That's why Mahaprabhu sent Ravanath Das Goswami back home. He said the change is not external. Antra Nishtakara. Make the change internally. Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai. So quickly make the change internally.
Yeah.
And then once you make the change and you're practicing bhakti, once you're making the practice as Krishna Das, then the Visesambandha Gyan at Diksha starts to evolve. It starts to open up just like a flower. And then the specifics of your Dasitva, because Gurudev is giving you that Shakti at the time of Diksha, start to open up. And then you begin practicing from the speciality of that Visesambandha Gyan. Jai Bholo Shrimati Radharani Ki Jai. Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Hari Jai. You can turn that off.